A wooden floor in a 100-year-old house. Let's open it.
So that's not the best thing to have found hidden underneath the floor, but...
What secrets might be hidden right under our feet? Some surprising, some not so much. But all of them give us a clue to the hidden history of our building. Will we discover secret treasures? Or is this entire renovation doomed?
Let's just say it's good news that we decided to take the floor apart.
Hi.
It's so exciting. We were really looking forward to opening up our first floor. You'll notice the difference in height. We have no clue, but yeah, it's there. We'll start with the lower part since it looks way worse. And we'll also avoid unnecessary obstacles when using the stairs.
So great news, we took out the floor, and by doing so we found yet another floor. But this one looks very, very old. Okay, truth be told, this floor doesn't look good at all, but it really tells something about the history of this building, which is pretty cool.
So, we already know the house was built around 1912. However, back then, the part where we are working on was a shed for livestock. By talking to several locals, we've learned that our house had a lot of different functions over the years. But the main thing that keeps popping up is the diamond workshop. I know it's a very exciting treasure hunt, but most likely we'll find traces of the collection of the previous owner. For many years, our house was the place of Pierre's flea market stock. He collected anything from toys, figures, to books and maps, basically anything that he found valuable or worth preserving.
The first thing tells us something about the age of the previous floor. We found this magazine, which is dated... I can't seem to find a date. But it looks pretty old and very retro, which is pretty cool. Help. So this page is somewhat news related and it states the date of 1980. So yeah, that's already quite a bit. So this magazine was a pretty cool item to find hidden beneath the floor, but there's way more. Let me show you. The most noticeable item is this one. So we first thought that, okay, this is maybe a door to like throw down hay for animals, but it's not really as exciting as you might think. If you go straight down, you'll end up in the kitchen, or where the kitchen will be or was. And then you'll see a big window next to it. And this construction is made because the window is actually higher than the original ceiling. So yeah, maybe it's just the bricks came later and the frame didn't really match and this was like a workaround. Not sure, but still interesting feature. So this is actually a hidden feature. But I will wait for Aurélie because if I find something cool, then she doesn't want to miss that. Unless it's like treasure, then maybe I might want her to miss that. Ik heb een verrassing voor u.
Oké, ik ben benieuwd.
Nee?
Heb je niet van onder was?
Nee, het was echt gewoon geverfd en die plaat was dicht gedaan.
Wauw, goed hè?
Goed of niet?
Ja? Het is ineens veel licht ook.
Vind je het jammer dat ik dat heb opengedaan zonder u?
Nee.
Er was niks verstopt.
Geen schatten?
Nee, geen schatten, nee.
Jammer.
Echt waar niet.
It took a while to find some time to edit this video, so keep in mind all of this was filmed over the summer. I know, we have some catching up to do.
So the top part of the floor is gone. I'm like sweating incredibly, it's so hot here. Okay, break time. Before I break. So I've just had a look. It's currently 30 degrees outside. It's full bright sun. A very, very good day for Belgium. But this is like a black roof and there's no insulation. Outside 30 degrees and inside it's about 1,000,000 degrees. So not the ideal working condition, but we're gonna make Aurélie proud and get this floor out before she gets here. Or at least we'll try. Time for a time lapse of me working really hard and fast. Not necessarily working hard, but fast, because it's a time lapse. So. I can already hear everyone think, why don't you use a screwdriver, like an electrical one? Well, it's because we don't have one yet. And we can only afford one if we get a few more subscribers, so you know what to do. Please, just subscribe, that would be very, very helpful.
To be fair, we were always lucky enough to borrow one from our family, but this is my way of convincing Aurélie to get one ourselves. Yeah, I'm just too stubborn, I think.
There are a few bits and pieces, some more interesting than others.
Some small old play figures. Finding these definitely took us down memory lane, and I reckon it will be the same for some of you. Next to nostalgia, nothing notable yet.
Now we need to make sure that we don't step in between the beams, because yeah, otherwise you'll end up like Robin. And I'm gonna refer to it as much as possible, just to remind him. Thanks again, Robin. So this is what our ceiling looks like from above or below. Anyway.
Thanks to this clever little brain, we now know this technique is called lath and plaster. As the name suggests, put up the lath, that's a difficult word, laths, and smearing the plaster over it. Nowadays, this method is basically extinct, thanks to the convenience of plaster boards.
So that's how it's currently attached to the wooden beams. And we think we don't have to take away this part of the ceiling, so it's gonna remain old-fashioned, which is cool. Unless we'll discover something very shocking and it has to come off, but I'm pretty sure it can stay as is. Time to get screwed. Screwing. Time to...
As I was about to discover, this part of the floor held the biggest secret.
So that's not the best thing to have found hidden underneath the floor, but yeah. Let's just say it's good news that we decided to take the floor apart. I'll go get Aurélie and check it out.
Nee.
Er is goed nieuws en slecht nieuws. Maar eigenlijk vooral slecht nieuws.
Oké.
Zie je het al?
Ja. Ja. Een heel grote balk, of hè?
Ja, niet ene. Het is... En daar in de hoek zat hem zelfs al niet meer op de juiste plek. So we found several rotten beams. So that's... yeah. But that also means that I'm not sure if we can keep the ceiling. I think everything needs to go. There's like traces of ivy growing inside. But that also might be the reason why this part of the floor is in way worse shape, because there are holes everywhere. Or there used to be holes everywhere.
Wat denk je, Lenderd?
I've been happier. How do you feel about it, Aurélie?
Ik had het liever anders gezien, denk ik.
Is this our first renovation surprise? Our actual first renovation surprise?
Ja,
Isn't that a good thing? Because if,
Nee.
if it's this, then it won't be something else.
dat is wel waar.
We'll have an expert look at it and maybe it won't be that big of a deal. Oh my god, dat was snel.
To up the morale, we decided to borrow my father's screwdriver to finish the final part of the floor.
Er gaat toch geen muis meer onder zitten, hè?
Nee. Ja, en dat is isolatie dat die ben afgeknabbeld.
Okay, now that we've completely removed that part of the floor, it's time for the old floor. Maybe this time we'll really find some treasure. Maybe.
We didn't, but maybe that's not so bad. At this point, we were mainly thinking about the best solution to the rotten beams. As we're just first-time renovators and we have no prior knowledge, we had no idea. Completely clueless. But at the same time, glad we made this discovery. At least we got a sense of the history of our house. After all, who knows? New perspectives and new opportunities.